A lot of photographers will talk about noise and controlling this noise in their photography. And now we're not talking about how loud the camera is. Noise actually refers to the grain or the blockiness of the image. When you crank up your ISO, you're basically amplifying the signal from the sensor to the brains in your camera. So even though there's no more light getting into your camera, you're boosting that signal, ultimately making the photograph appear brighter. One of the byproducts of this is introducing noise into your image. It's a bit like an old school analog TV. When the signal got worse, you'd get that white noise in the TV signal. If you look at this image taken with an ISO level of 100 compared to this one with an ISO level of 51,500, you can see when we zoom in how much more grain there is in the second image. And this is what is referred to as noise. Also, if you look at this image taken at ISO 100 and then this image taken at ISO 100 as well, in the second image I underexposed it purposely and then I've bumped it back up in Lightroom. But you can see that second image has a lot more noise than the first one. It does look a little bit different and it's not classic noise, but this is what happens to your image when you don't get a good exposure. Lightroom is trying to correct that image, but there's not enough detail there for it to build that image back up to what it should have been. And it all comes down to your signal noise ratio. Not only do you have to try and keep your ISO low whenever you can, but you also have to expose your image properly. The better the quality and exposure levels are, the cleaner your shot will end up being. By using a tripod wherever possible, you can then lengthen your shutter speed, giving the sensor more time to get a better exposure without having to amplify a signal. Alternatively, if you have deep pockets, you can buy more expensive lenses with bigger apertures. Again, this will let more light to the sensor, giving you a better base exposure. Now, if you do get a noisy image, you can process the image afterwards in your editing software of choice, but it is best to try and get as clean an image as possible from the start, as if you do use too much of this noise removal in post, it will degrade the image you end up with. Now, if you want to learn more about ISO, click on this next video here, and for sharpness and noise reduction in Lightroom, click on this video down here. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for weekly videos and tutorials. I'll see you next time.